الله اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Alhamdulillah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had honored us, had blessed us with another meeting when we talk about the chapters of the Quran. And the main idea, the major goal from these series of lectures, that we need to know more about the Quran. We need to understand the message that we got from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we try, that's an attempt, that we try to learn more about the topics that these surahs are dealing with. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah alone, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we had reached to chapter number 37, which is Surah Al-Saffat. And that is the first lecture actually. And normally we used to have the first lecture to be introduction. So we have an introduction tonight to know about a chapter number, the chapter number 37. It is called Al-Saffat. And what does it mean actually? But I just wanted to welcome all of you. And I really wanted, I like that spirit of, like, some of you are writing, taking some of the points and they summarize. May Allah bless you for this, because to come with that intention that you came to pray, but at the same time you came to seek knowledge. You know what's the reward of that? To have inside your intention, and even for the brothers and sisters who are following us on Zoom, like to come with that intention that, you know, I'm a student of knowledge. I consider myself a student of the Islamic knowledge. I will go to pray and to get Islamic knowledge. If you came out of your house with this intention, you will match with the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. من خرج في طلب العلم فهو في سبيل الله حتى يرجع. Whoever came out from his house seeking the Islamic knowledge, he will be considered في سبيل الله. What does it mean في سبيل الله? Means he is performing worship to Allah. في سبيل الله means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting him. Fi sabilillah, he's sacrificing for the sake of Allah. He's like a mujahid. Fi sabilillah. If something bad happened to him, he will be counted as what? Shaheed. He will get the reward of a martyr just by the intention. So it makes the difference. And we give another lecture before about the intention. We said intention makes or breaks. So intention will make the difference. So this chapter actually is Surah Al-Saffat. Let me give you a little background about the Arabic language. When we have the plural, okay. بنهديك قول امين قول امين بس كده. So Saffat, with the Arabic language, if you wanted to have plural, a feminine plural, you need to end the noun with alif and ta. So Saffat. And we have in the Quran, in the entire Quran, only 6 surahs started with the same pattern. So As-Saffat, Al-Dhariyat, Al-Mursalat, Al-Nazi'at, Al-Adiyat. 5 surahs, not 6, 5 surahs. So one more time. Saffat, Al-Dhariyat, Al-Mursalat, Al-Nazi'at, Al-Adiyat. So it's all ending with at. So Saffat, Mursalat, Adiyat, ending with alif and ta. And that's what we call it feminine plural. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using that word to tell us about what? About the plural who are not too much in terms of the groups. The group which is not too much, Hajj Wajdi might address that by Monday, and he will teach us something. It is called Jam'u Qillatin. Jam'u Qillatin. Yes, it is plural, but Allah meant not too much. Plural, but they are few in number. You know, the plural is different than English. So over one, you say plural in English. No, over two, that is plural in Arabic. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ended the word by this alif and ta, you understand, yes, it's Allah is talking about group of something, but at the same time, like it's not by hundreds, it's not by thousands, just few of them, few of them. And Allah started this chapter, again, chapter number 37. It is called Al-Saffat. And Allah started this chapter by an oath. Allah is making an oath. With what? With the angels of Allah. And lots of people don't know enough information about the angels of Allah. Yet, the Quran told us a decent amount of knowledge that we can get a little glimpse of who are the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we talked, when we spoke about Surah Fatir, we talked about the creation of the angels. We talked about the wings of the angels. We talked about some of the characteristics of the angels, some of the features of the angels. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, here in this surah, Allah is starting by making an oath. وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا. Allah is swearing, making an oath by the angels who are lining up in rows. Who are lining up in rows means they are standing, waiting for the command of Allah, and they are standing in the time of their worship also in rows. And that's why in a hadith, it mentioned in Sahih Muslim, it's authentic hadith, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah had granted us in our salah to stand in rows like he ordered the angels to do so. So when we stand in our salah in lines, we are exactly doing like the angels. So the angels, when they worship Allah, they stand next to each other. They are lining up. So Allah is swearing by وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا. I swear by the angels who are lining up in rows next to each other. Okay. So what are they doing? What are they doing by standing like this? Some of them are worshiping Allah. Some of them are waiting for the order from Allah. Some of them have other jobs to do. But they are like soldiers waiting for the order of their creator. Glory be to him. Surah Al-Saffat, 182 verses. That tells you about how long or how big the surah is. And it has 865 words, and it has 3,790 letters. This surah has a main theme. Normally we talk about the main theme in the second lecture, but just I will let you know, the main theme in the entire surah, it talks about two things: the monotheism, how to single Allah out with your worship, and number two, how Allah protected the seven skies from the devils. It's a very interesting topic. Maybe you haven't heard of that topic in your entire life, because I need to differentiate between two terms in Islam. Normally, when we say heavens, what is the first thing comes to your mind? Heavens. Jannah, right? When we say heavens, yeah, you think about the paradise, right? Okay. that concept, lots of people got affected by when it comes to the gospel, the New Testament or the Old Testament, because the Torah, the Injil is talking, the Bible is talking about heavens, i.e. paradise. But that concept actually is different in Islam a little bit. And some of early scholars who translated the Quran from Arabic to English, and the Arabic is not their mother tongue, they mixed up with what is mentioned in the Bible with the Islamic term of the word heavens. When we say heavens in Islam, we mean skies. It's not the Jannah. Okay? When we say Jannah, the place that Allah had prepared as a reward for the mu'mineen, for the believers, for those who have taqwa of Allah, yes, we say only paradise or Jannah. But heavens, Allah always meant in the Quran, heavens means the seven skies. So I just wanted to correct that. Lots of people will mix up these two meanings when we say heavens. No, if you have an Imam will tell you heavens, he means the seven skies. Only the skies, not specifically Jannah, the paradise itself. So one of the things that we need to know about this surah, that it dealt with how Allah protected the seven skies, the heavens. Now you got the meaning, the heavens, not paradise, the heavens, from the devils. And you might ask, Imam, what is the relationship of the seven heavens and the devils? That's a long story we might cover next week, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. But for now, I want just you to get that, the whole idea of the surah. Now, this surah was revealed right after Surah Al-An'am, 182 verses. All the surah was revealed before the migration from Mecca to Medina, except 4 verses. 4 verses. The verses are from 23 to 27. Those 4 verses only were revealed in Al-Medina after the migration from Mecca to Medina. And we, just to give a quick revision, mashallah, you guys became experts. We talked about some of the characteristics of the surahs that are dealing with what's before Hijrah, and what are the characteristics of the surahs are dealing with what is after the Hijrah. So Brother Muhammad Ali, Brother Abdul Basit, maybe Brother Rashid, maybe Brother Malik, maybe Hajj Wajdi, maybe Brother Mu'tasim can remind me of some of those characteristics. Can we count quickly? What do you know about the surahs that were revealed before the Hijrah in terms of topic? Okay, the monotheism. Number 2, the creation of Allah. Yes, the qudra of Allah, the power of Allah. What else? Huh? Yes, and also the stories of the previous nations. Most of them, or 90% of them, were mentioned in the Meccan surah. What do you know about the Madani surah? Means revealed after the Hijrah? Exactly. It talks about the rules, what to do, what not to do, what is halal, what is not haram, the rules of marriage, rules of divorce, rules of inheritance, rules of the neighborhood, rules of making salam, rules of dressing hijab for the women, rules of dressing modesty for the men, and all of this stuff. Rights of the communities are upon each other. So all these rules are mentioned in the Madani surahs. So now, since you know that like 95% of this surah was revealed before the Hijrah, so now you know what are the topics just by the name. You ask, Imam, is this surah Makkiyah or Madaniyah? Makkiyah revealed before Hijrah, or Madaniyah revealed after Hijrah? So if he told you Makkiyah, so I am somehow can identify by myself, even without reading the whole chapter, without reading any single verse, I can predict, I can expect which are the topics that this surah is dealing with. You got it? So this surah, Surah Al-Saffat, is talking about the monotheism, it's talking about the qudra of Allah, it's talking about the creation of the angels, it's talking about how Allah did protect the heavens from the devils. So Allah said, I swear by the angels who are standing, lining up in rows. And then Allah said, ayah number 2, was zajarati zajra. And those who are waiting to execute the punishment from Allah upon the disbelievers. So was-saffati saffa, was-zajarati zajra, fattaliyati dhikra. And other sections, those who are in line, but they are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reciting the remembrance of Allah. 3 times Allah making an oath. So you might ask, Imam, what is this oath for? What is the oath is all about? Then Allah said, Inna ilahakum lawahid. Your God is one. You see the monotheism? Inna ilahakum lawahid. Your God is one. And you might say, okay, we know that. So why Allah has to bring that up in this conversation, in this surah? Because you didn't know the circumstances before the revelation of this surah. You know, the people of Quraysh, the people of Mecca used to believe what in the angels? They used to believe in angels. Yes, they were pagans. They used to worship idols, but they used to believe that angels are females. That's number 1. Number 2, they used to believe that those angels are goddesses beside Allah. They help Allah. They believed in them as helpers, assistants, other God next to Allah. So Allah said, I swear by those who are lining up, waiting for my order to be executed, I swear that your master, your Lord, is one. Have no other partners. Then Allah confirmed that fact. And he said, رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا وَرَبُّ الْمَشَارِقِ. He is the master. He is the Lord of the heavens. You see, heavens, رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ. He is the Lord of the skies, of the heavens, and earth, وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, and what is in between. Which is more difficult, which is more, not difficult, important in the creation? The heavens and earth, or what is in between? Which is more important in the creation of Allah? Or even more complicated, let's say that. What is in between? All the species, right? All the creation of Allah. If we said heavens and earth, it's like one piece, okay? But you have millions of different types of creation of Allah. So the word, you see, it seems like it's very short, but it contains too much when we say heavens and earth and what is in between. Somebody might hear it, what is in between? Okay, I got it. No, we're talking about the entire creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. رَبُّ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا وَرَبُّ الْمَشَارِقِ. And he is the Lord of the East. You might say, what does it mean? You know what is the meaning of East? They said that every source of light coming from the East. Because of what? Because of what? Yes, the rise of the sun. So the sun comes here. And what does it mean to be on the other side? The West. The West is indication of what? The darkness. So if you have the light here in the East, so that means what? So Allah is Rabbul Mashariq. It's a metaphorical expression So don't say he's the Lord of the East. So who is the Lord of the West? No, that doesn't mean. No, he's the Lord of the East means he is the one who sent, or he is the source of the light, of every single light and the guidance you might have in your life. This is Allah. He's that source. Then Allah said, listen to this. And maybe you can search by yourself, because we said, take it as a homework. Because Islam told us to ponder, to reflect, to think, go and search, do your work. Allah said, Inna zayyanna as-samaa ad-dunya bizinatin al-kawakib. We have adorned, we have decorated the lowest sky, the lowest heaven, with the decoration of the planets and stars. So Allah created some of the stars, some of the planets to be what? A decoration. For what? For the first sky, the lowest one. We call it as-sama'u dunya. The lowest. You know dunya? What's the meaning of dunya? The lowest, right? So the lowest sky, which is close to our dunya. So lowest in the sky, and we are still in the dunya. So dunya meeting with the dunya of the sama, of the sky. Okay? Inna zayyanna as-samaa ad-dunya bizinatin al-kawakib. Allah had decorated that lowest heaven like this. What about the other heavens? What about the other skies? Allah did not mention that He decorated them. Then Allah said, وَحِفْظًا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ مَارِدٍ. I created the first heaven to work as a defense mechanism to protect the rest of the skies. So that means what? That tells us that Allah had made the first sky to be fully equipped with, let's say, arsenal. With arsenal, with lots of missiles, with lots of airstrikes, with lots of rockets. Allah had made the sky to be fully loaded with the defense mechanism that can defend the entire skies. And now the question would become bigger and bigger. To protect from what? Who can come to the first sky? وَحِفْظًا, it is a protection against every rebellious devil. That is shaytanun marid. Marid, you know marid? Even shayateen has different levels. A giant, or even like rebellious, that's the literal translation. But when it comes to marid, he has more power, has more control. Like the average shayateen cannot do this. Yeah, but brother and sister Ruby, mashallah, quoted almost the same verse, close to the same meaning from Surah Al-Mulk. وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. Allahu Akbar. Great work, sister, mashallah. You see, she's doing the homework online. MashaAllah, on the spot. Jazakumullah khairan. That's great. See, people are following. And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I made the first sky, I give the decoration, but at the same time, those stars, those planets can work as defense mechanism against every rebellious shaitan. Married. From the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, King Solomon, and the Queen Sheba, we can understand that Jinn is different than shaitan, right? Who is the jinn? We need an answer. Who is jinn? The jinn is one of the creation of Allah that Allah had created out of what? Out of what? Out of fire. And what about the angels? From the light. And what about us? From clay or dirt or dust. All of them are right. But Allah is talking about the stages, one after one, starting from dust. Yes, then teen. And then in this surah, Allah added something to the dust, added something to the clay. And he said, min tinin lazib. Lazib, sticky. Yeah, sticky clay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us the stages. But let me tell you something. We have a big difference between jinn and shaitan. So do not ever curse jinn. Do not ever curse the jinn. That's why we say, A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan al-rajim. The cursed shaitan, not the jinn. Because the jinn, like the human beings, like the angels, we have a special chapter named after al-jinn in the Quran. So we have a chapter called the chapter of al-jinn. And we do not have a chapter of al-malaika. We do not have a chapter of the angels. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the jinn. That's the general race. That's the general type of the creation, jinn. And those who had, and jinn exactly like the human beings, they have believers and disbelievers. Even amongst the disbelievers, they have those who had repented to Allah and those who became rebellious. And Allah had made those who became rebellious, Allah had made them shayateen. So those are the demons. Those are the devils, the cursed devils. But the jinn, they said, وَأَنَّا مِنَّا الْمُسْلِمُونَ وَمِنَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ فَمَنْ أَسْلَمَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ تَحَرَّوْا رَشَدًا وَأَمَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ فَكَانُوا لِجَهَنَّمَ حَطَبًا. Allahu Akbar. Even the jinn in this surah, the surah of jinn, they said, some of us are Muslims, some of us are non-Muslims. Some of us are believers, some of us are disbelievers. And they passed by Rasulullah. You know that the jinn one day passed by the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ while he is standing in salah. And they stopped listening to his recitation. And they had believed in him. And Allah had informed the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ with what happened. And they said that they were passing by, إِنَّا سَمِعْنَا قُرْآنًا عَجَبًا يَهْدِي إِلَى الرُّشْدِ فَآمَنَّا بِهِ وَلَن نُشْرِكَ بِرَبِّنَا أَحَدًا. We had heard an amazing, eloquent recitation of that is called Quran. That Quran we discovered that it yahdi ila rushd, it guides to the straight path. That is why we decided to believe in that Quran. Who said that? The jinn kind. So Allah is talking here about the shayateen. The skies are protected against the rebellious shayateen. Shaitanin married. So when we revised the story of Sulaiman, we found Ifritun min al-jinn. He didn't say Ifritun min al-shayateen. But when it comes to the shayateen, he said married. So now we can classify them. Those who has more power than the normal jinn or normal shayateen. When it comes to the jinn kind, we call them ifrit. When it comes to the shaitan kind or the shaitan group, we call them married. And the plural is marada. Shaitan. Yes. And the more disobedience amongst the shayateen, we call them married. The ifrit is from the jinn kind, and he is not a disbeliever. So, but he has too much power than the regular jinn. So, inshallah, tabaraka wa ta'ala, next week, we will talk about the rest of the lessons that we can talk from, that we can take from the surah, inshallah, rabbil alameen. So, how Allah protected the sky. Next time, you will get to know, maybe for the first time, that Allah had made some of the jinn, some of the shayateen to get close to the heavens, to the sky, and they worked as spies. They worked as spies, and they were able to know some of the unseen, some of the unknown, some of the secrets of the skies, and Allah had punished them. And there is a battle which is taking place almost every day, even till today, every day, with the angels and those rebellious shayateen. So next time, inshallah, we give more about these things in Surah Al-Saffat. Jazakumullah khairah. You know, we feel when we finish talking about some of the aspects of the surah that we were in a journey and we just landed safely in New Richey. Welcome. You can take your seats off, your seat belt off, and now because we were above to the skies. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feekum. Inshallah, continue Surah Al-Saffat next time, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Do you have any question? Barakallahu feek. Yes. Yes, one to the first one. Yes, to the seventh. Yes.
Space is and يتشلل من القرآن شيء زاد. Everyone see how each one meter is to change and was change. One bit.
تقصد الجمع في المشارق والمغارب? Yeah, maybe if you can provide me with more evidence about this one, we can explain next time, inshallah rabbil alamin. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.